is Isaac Anthony Sisneros. I'm a theater major and I love to tell stories. Today I wish to share the scholarship of my play, One Bad Day. I will be presenting stage readings of 4 different scenes of my original script. To get to the point where I am now with One Bad Day, we first have to take a step back into 2018 when I was still in high school, and it was a short story. I started with the text that I would transform into becoming scene 2.2 in the play as a short story with 2 friends shooting a man after he leaves a party, and the story ends with one friend getting away and the other being killed by the police. You may ask, how did I transform a short story into a full-fledged play? After I let my story lay dormant for 2 years, I revived the original idea into a short story assignment for Dr. Taylor's Intro to Theater class. I submitted the scene after rewriting the play or the story from the ground up using the general direction and the characters from the short story. I then submitted the scene. After rereading the segment I wrote for Dr. Taylor's class, I was intrigued by what I wrote and I wanted to know more of the events leading up to the shooting and the aftermath of the shooting. So I started the process of playwriting. I wanted to tell a story I felt needed to be told. The story of a young man getting raped in a bathroom and his brother killing the rapist. I've heard personal anecdotes from people in similar circumstances and their experiences of injustice. Rape culture affects people in the LGBTQ community and not in the community. A lot of people are ignoring this issue. I wrote this play to highlight the issue and to bring it to life through character and dialogue. It's a harsh truth everyone needs to experience in order to foster communication and start discussing and implementing more effective means to educate and protect people from this horrible act. When I knew I wanted to tell this story as a play, I spent 4 weeks in the Adams State Library writing the first draft. I showed this draft to my play to Dr. John H. Taylor and Professor Jenna Nielsen. After receiving their feedback, I began editing the play. I took some words and lines out that didn't fit. I added a new scene and I switched the order of the scenes for better dramatic purposes. After those revisions, I sent the new cut to Professor Nielsen again, and she recommended some further edits, fixes, and tweaks. After I made those grammatical spelling errors and adding a new moment into the play, I felt it was then complete. Today, I am going to present a stage reading of 4 scenes from my play, One Bad Day, performed by Christopher Cage Jr., Caleb Gideon Barris, and Nathan Pooler, as well as myself reading the stage direction and with Amber Lee Gibson behind the camera.
Listen, Ted, I don't know what to say to him anymore.
What do you mean?
Ever since our parents left and he came out, I've been so lost in trying to raise him. I know that I'm not doing enough to help him. He's trying. He's the only thing I have left in this world, and I'm afraid of failing him.
Are you two fighting and shit like that?
No, it's just like we're living with each other and not really talking with each other. We'll chat shit here and there and stuff like that, but we don't sit down and actually talk. I wasn't ready to raise anybody, Tay. I know you weren't either, but what should I do?
The only thing I can say is just do it, man. I know it's not that easy, but you just have to sit down and talk to each other and open up to each other. You might not be able to relate fully, but you can still help.
Thanks, man. I'll go talk to him now.
You sure? I mean, he's in the tub right now.
Not right now. Right now, but I'll let him know and we'll talk after he gets out. Can you believe it? He's all ready for college, just needs to get through 1 more year.
You tell him yet?
Tell him what? Oh, not yet. I don't know how he'll take it. Me and him haven't even discussed what college he'll go to.
I mean, if you're following him to college, you should find out where.
No shit. I'm just excited at the prospect of going back. Finally getting a move on with what I want to do and also the same time. and also at the same time, doing it right besides my brother. Maybe even I can try to reach out to Tanya.
Tanya? You ready to open that baggage?
Guess I'll find out soon enough.
Do you know what Jesse wants to study?
Shit. I'll have to talk to him about that tonight. Also, fuck man, how can I be such a bad brother? I don't even know where he wants to go.
Hey, don't do that. Maybe you haven't been there like you think you should, but today is the day you change. Okay?
Okay. Thanks, Tay. Seriously, you've been a big help these past few years.
That's what best friends are for. Shit, I have to head out. Don't panic and keep it real with one another. And it'll work itself out.
Alright, Taylor. Thank you. Stay up.
You too.
Taylor leaves the room, and Sam gets up and walks to the bathroom and knocks at the door.
Hey, Jess. Listen. After you're done, I need to talk to you. What the fuck?
Sam feels water running from under the door into the hole of his boot.
Jesse!
Sam breaks into the bathroom, runs over, pulls Jesse out of the tub. At the same time, Taylor runs back into the house.
No. Jesse, come on. Don't do this to me. Taylor!
Holy shit, I'm here.
Call an ambulance. I'm gonna try to do CPR.
Taylor goes into the kitchen and calls the ambulance as Sam performs CPR on Jesse. The lights slowly fade out on Sam and Jesse. It is the end of the school. In the next scene, you will see is Act 1, Scene 5. In the scenes before, we flash back to the events leading to Jesse coming home and attempting suicide. In the scenes, we see the relationship with Jesse and Sam, and Jesse and Avery, and the confrontation with Sean that leads to the events of Scene 1.5. I chose this scene because I want to show people the truth that I feel needs to be shown.
So,
What do you want?
nothing. Seems like a strange case of coincidence to me.
A likely story?
Avery grabs onto Jesse's hand and starts heading towards the door, with Sam until Sean Friend blocks the door with his body.
Since this coincidence has brought us together, I wanted to hash things out, come to an understanding.
Please, man, just let us go.
Eventually.
Sean stands up off the wall and walks toward Jesse and Avery. Avery backs off while Jesse stands his ground, puts himself in front of Avery.
Whatever it is you're gonna do, it ain't gonna happen as you think it will.
Maybe, but then again, it probably will.
Sean slaps Jesse with the back of his hand. Jesse stumbles back for a second before taking a swing at Sean. Connecting with the punch, Sean smiles as he holds his chin, then grabs Jesse and throws him against the wall.
God damn, you got a hell of a hook, Jess. Too bad it won't be enough, though.
Avery grabs Sean to punch him, but Sean's friend grabbed him and put him in a chokehold, stepping back to give Sean and Jesse space.
It's good to have people love you, Jess. It makes it more satisfying when I can not only hurt you, but him too.
Please.
Sean glances over to Avery for a brief second, giving Jesse a chance to attack. He tries swinging again, but Sean grabs his arm and spins him around, picking him up and slamming him on the ground. Sean continues to hit him as he taunts.
Boy, don't you know I'm a wrestling champion? I can fuck you up in so many ways your brain wouldn't even know what it was feeling.
Is that the best you can do?
Huh? No, I don't think it is. Fucking you up. You'll heal and recover, and eventually you'll be able to get a sense of security back. No. You'll need something you'll never be able to come back from. Make sure no one comes through that door, Butch. And you make sure he watches every second of this.
The lights go dark as Sean stands over Jesse and starts unbuckling his belt. Next, you will see Act 2, Scenes 1 and 2. I chose these scenes to show the immediate aftermaths of Scenes 1.1 and 1.5, and to show the direction that Act 2 will be going in.
I could have talked to him, actually talked to him and found out. I could have done a lot of things instead of pushing it off and assuming everything was okay. Did you find Avery here?
Yeah, he's on the 3rd floor. They found him outside his house, a bleeding pulp. He's out cold, probably will be for a while.
Fuck, man. Why did this have to happen to Jesse?
Bad shit always happens to people. To you, to me, and now to Jesse. here for Jesse, Sam. When he wakes up, he's gonna need you. Be here, Sam.
Okay. I'll be right here for him.
I have to start heading home. I gotta make sure my kid is fed and cleaned. Listen, Sam, do not blame yourself for something you had no control over. Instead, figure out where to go from here and be grateful your little brother is still here.
Taylor leaves the room as Sam looks over at Jesse and he takes his hand.
Jesse, I'm so sorry this happened to you, little brother. All I ever wanted to do was make sure you were safe, protected, able to live a good life. I failed you, Jesse. When Mom and Dad bailed out on us, I was so furious, not because of what they did, but because of the impact it would have on me. I was living the college life, going to class, being with Tanya, living a good life. I love you, of course, but I didn't want to deal with you being a burden. What kind of brother am I not to want to have to deal with my own blood? But I did it nonetheless. I dropped out and took a shit job so we could survive. I never told you what happened with me and Tanya after Mom and Dad left. I talked to Tanya and we tried to make things work. Me working all the time, taking care of you and her, going to college. After a while, it became too much for me and her, but I didn't want it to end, so she had it ended herself. I begged and pleaded, but it didn't work. And after that, I hated you. I didn't want nothing to do with you, and was about to give up. I was this close to putting you in a home, but after a night of reflecting and looking at myself in the mirror, and I realized it would be the worst mistake of my life if I did that. That night was the best thing that could have happened to me. I was a selfish piece of shit. But when you came into my life, it humbled me, made me appreciate what I had, and being thankful I still had a brother who loved me. Today, when you came home, Taylor convinced me to talk to you. I was going to talk to you about how things were and going to college together, but now that this happened, Jesse, if you hear me, I promise I will find who did this to you, and I'll fucking kill him. You hear me, little brother? When I find out who did this to you, I will fucking kill him.
Angel knocks at the hospital door and enters the room.
Angel, what are you doing here?
Hey, Sam. I just wanted to see how Jess was doing. I saw the ambulance and
I didn't know you two were friends. Jesse's gonna live, but he won't be okay for a long time.
Actually, that's what I really came to talk about.
What do you mean?
Listen, whatever happened to Jesse, no. I know it was because of Sean.
Sean? The fuck you talking about? Who's Sean?
Him and Jesse used to be friends. Then something happened and he started to harass Jesse and Avery.
That jock Jesse used to have a crush on? You sure it was him that did this?
Positive.
How do you know?
Sean and Jesse got into a heated argument and Sean said he was going to do something to him. I thought he was just going to fuck him up, you know? I didn't hang out with them for the rest of the day. I didn't want to be involved in all that. Turns out I should have. Maybe I could have talked him down or something. It's partly my fault Jesse is like this.
No. There's nothing you could have done. You probably would have suffered the same fate. Do you know where Sean is?
Last I heard, he went to a party with some of his clique from school. Off the main, I think.
Thank you, Angel. Listen. Go home and don't mention this to no one, okay?
What are you going to do?
Don't worry about that. Just go home, Angel.
Angel looks at Sam and leaves the room. Sam pulls out his phone.
Taylor, meet me off the main. I found out who did it. I fucking found him. I'll send you the exact address when I get there.
The lights fade away. Taylor walks down the street. Taylor enters Sam's car, slamming the door as he sits down.
God damn, Sam. I don't know if it's colder out there or in here. I got your message. Is this the place? What are you gonna do, Sam?
Taylor taps Sam's shoulder and he turns to Taylor, all serious.
Yeah, he's in there. He's the one that did it. I'm gonna kill that son of a bitch.
Sam, what the fuck are you talking about?
Sean's the one that did that shit to Jesse. He's the one that almost made Jesse kill himself. I'm gonna fucking kill him, and I want you to help me.
Wait a minute. Hold up, Sam. Listen to yourself, man. I know you're pissed off. You have every right to be, but you can't just kill him.
We can, and we will.
Sam violently opens his glove compartment and takes out a revolver and a Beretta and drops the revolver in Taylor's lap.
Hey, man. The fuck is wrong with you? You know, I can't get involved with this shit. Listen to me, Sam. I know what he did. I'm pissed about it too. But we can't go and kill him. Use your goddamn head, man.
Man, fuck that. Remember when you told me and Jesse that we were like family to you, like brothers? Jesse's in the fucking hospital, barely alive because of that motherfucker. You've had my back for years, and I've had yours for years. I love you, man. And I always will. All we have to do is wait till he comes out and we can shoot him.
Sam, this is fucking crazy, man. Think about this. If you do this, there's no coming back. The cops are gonna be looking for you, and Jesse wouldn't want this.
The fuck you mean Jesse wouldn't want this? That bitch Sean is in there partying like shit never happened. Jesse would probably be doing this shit himself if he could. Jesse is the only thing I got in this world, Tay. You know this, brother. I told him I'd protect him, and I failed. I know what I'm asking of you, and if you leave, I won't be mad at you. I'll understand, but please, brother, help me put this fucker in the ground so he can't do this again. Do it for Jesse, man, please.
Sam, if you do this, everything will change. You'll go to prison for the rest of your life. You and Jesse won't be able to go to college. And you won't be able to get back with Tanya. You'll be throwing everything away, man. Just give me the gun, give it to me, and we'll go back to the hospital and we'll figure out this another day. Right now, we need to be with Jesse, remember? He needs you right now.
Sean walks out of the house, stumbling around in a drunken manner. He's grinning stupidly and his zipper is undone. Sam gets out of the car with the Beretta in his hand.
Motherfucker.
What the? No, wait, don't, Sam!
Taylor gets out of the car to go after Sam. Sam is already halfway to Sean. Sean looks up to see Sam and his pistol. Sean falls back and he holds his hands up.
No, wait, please.
Taylor pauses in the street as Sam shoots Sean 5 times. Taylor stands there in shock as Sam stands over Sean. Taylor runs over to Sam.
Man, what the fuck did you do? Shit. Come on, we gotta go.
Taylor pulls Sam back to his car where the two get in and drive away as noises from the party goers, seeing Sean's body, can be heard. After Act 2, Scene 2, Sam goes to the hospital to tell Jesse goodbye and gets arrested. The final scene is set a few months after with Sam, Jesse, and Taylor seeing one another. I learned a lot of things writing this play. I learned how to look back and revise. I learned how to format a play, and I learned to write stage directions without making them character descriptions in disguise. And most importantly, I learned that I can be a good playwright. Playwriting is such a different thing from writing a novel. With a novel, you control every aspect of your story. In playwriting, you trust the actors, directors, costume designers, stage managers, light designers, and other people that work in theater to bring your story to life. I hope to have one bad day come to life on the stage. I will do anything I can to bring that hope alive. I would like to thank Professor David Gerke and Jenna Nielsen for helping me create the Scholar Day. I would like to thank Christopher Cates Jr., Nathan Pooler, and Caleb Gideon Burris for performing the stage reading and bringing the characters to life. I also want to thank Amber Lee for operating the camera. Thank you for taking the time to view my presentation.